really like to ask, please like, share and subscribe. Okay. Today we are going to start a new chapter. The chapter name is Basic Concepts of OOP. What is the meaning of OOP? OOP means Object Oriented Program. Object Oriented Program. It is called as OOP. So here what do you mean by object? Object is a real world entity. Now whatever the things which we are seeing, those are all objects. For example, we can see this chalk, this is object. You can see this board, this is object. You can see this watch, these are all objects. Okay? So what does the object do? Object, it emphasizes or works on modular approach. First point is modular approach. So modular approach means the lengthier or complex programs, dividing it into smaller parts and working on those parts are called as modular approach. Next comes, so it also develops a real life application. Next, it develops real life application. So real life application means we already know that these are all real life applications. Even watch, fan, AC, TV, computer, ATM, mobile, these are all real world application or real life objects. On those objects, what we do is we will do the programming. That is called as develop real life application. Next, element of object programming on data. What it does is it do the programming on data. What is the meaning of data here? Again, data means, here for example, take a variable a is equal to 10. It says that it is a data. B is equal to 20. This is again a data. Data means information. Data means it has a information. What it does is it works on the combination of data and function. So here already we know what is the meaning of data. Now let's see what is the meaning of function. Function means a working procedure or a logic of a program. Here what we do is sum is equal to a plus b, we will write. So what is the a data? It is 10. What is the b data? It is 20. Sum is equal to 30. Now this is function. Function or logic of a program, we can tell. Okay. Next comes, what are all the object oriented programming softwares we have? We have C++, we have Java, C++, Java, C#, Python. So these are all what? Real life application which right now it is there in the market. These are all object oriented programming languages. Okay. Next comes, this is object oriented programming introduction. It is the object oriented programming introduction what we have learned. Now let's learn about procedural oriented programming. Procedural oriented programming means what it does? It processes information to perform a desired computation. So what is this? Process information to perform desired computation means what is it? It is a POP, procedural oriented programming. Procedural oriented programming. So POP means procedural oriented programming. Okay. So whichever program we write, always what it will do, it will process some information to meet a desired output. That is nothing but POP also doing the same. But what happens here is it is lengthy and it also increases the complexity of program. So what is the problem here? Lengthy and also increases the complexity of program. So lengthy means, again we know, how much lengthy program we write, that much time it takes for execution. That is already we have learned in first year. So this is what we are happening. If the program is lengthy, automatically it increases the execution time, which also leads to bad program. Okay na? And again, how much lengthier the program becomes, that much complexity we face. Again, complexity means it is not, again it shows we are not a good programmer. Okay? So next is, what are all the procedural oriented programming languages? The procedural oriented programming languages are C and Pascal. Means here we have to write step by step. Code reusability will not be there. Again we have to write from beginning. If any mistakes, if we found it, then what are all the languages we have? We have C and Pascal. Okay. This is procedural oriented programming. Next thing comes is structured programming. Structured programming comes under the topic of procedural oriented programming. Structured programming comes under the topic of procedural oriented programming. Here, what is the structured programming rule? We have to look into that. Okay, so here we have to write in sequence. First thing we have to write in sequence. Sequence means line by line, step by step. Okay, you cannot write functions at the beginning which you want to execute later. If you want to write any function which you wanted to be executed later, you have to write it later at last only. You cannot write at the beginning. So that is what here the meaning of sequence. Sequence, then comes the condition. Then we have to write the condition. Condition means what you wanted to execute. For example, if I want to execute the age, that is age. If age is greater than 18, they are major. If age is less than 18, they are minor. Right? So if I want to execute that, I have to write some condition. What is that condition? If age is greater than 18, then what happens? Here it executes major, else minor. So these are the types of conditions we have to use to execute a program. Now the third one comes is here looping. Looping means same condition how many times you want to execute. That is called as looping. So here procedural oriented programming, I have already told you, that is the 3 points. Then again in that comes structured programming. Again it has 3 points. The 3 points are sequence, condition, loop. Okay? Sequence means step by step. Condition means we have to put some condition to meet the output. Looping means how many times if we execute the condition, then we get desired output. That is the 3 points. Next comes object oriented programming. So here comes object oriented programming. Next you will learn what is the meaning of object. But before that you learn why we need objects in programming. First But first you learn why we need objects in programming. Okay, na? So object, okay, it combines both data and function. That it combines data and function into a single unit. It combines object oriented programming, what it does, it combines both data and function into a single unit. Okay, and it is called object. It is called object oriented programming. So data and function I have already told you. Again, data is a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. Again, function means sum is equal to a plus b. So those are what? Data and functions. Okay, na? What it will do? It will combine and it will bring together. How? That we will learn later. But this is what it does. Okay, na? Next is, so member data. Next point is member data. There are two points whenever we are learning with a object oriented program. First is the data member, and another one is member function. Data known as member data. This data known as member data, what it does is operates on member function. So here what is happening is these member functions, what they are taking the information from data member, and they are operating on this member functions operates on data members. Member functions operates on data members. So that is only what I told you. A and B will be from the here, and sum is equal to A plus B will be from function, member function. So this is what the difference is. Function, data. We can also call it data member, and we can also call it member function. Both data member, we can call it member function. If you remove this member, see what it remains? It remains data and function. Just we can use it as data member and member function. You can call it. Okay? So what object oriented program does? It brings data and functions into a single unit known as object oriented programming. And second point is member functions operate on data members. Okay, na? This you have to remember. Next, object oriented programming OOP, it also follows the bottom up design. So later you will learn what is this bottom up design. Means very simple. Bottom means first it start executing from the void main, and always in object oriented programming we write void main at bottom. Void main, you have already written void main in first year. That void main we used to write upside at the beginning. Now here when it comes to object oriented programming, void main we have to write at the bottom, and the program always executes from where we have written void main. If we have written it in bottom, the algorithm or automatically the programming language, it will first go to void main. Then from there it will start void main, clear screen, object created, class name, object, then it will start executing from there, and it will execute the functions we have written upside. The functions which we have written upside. So first bottom, then comes upside. Later you will learn how to write that, but first you will learn that it is a bottom up approach. Okay, now that you have to remember. Next is the difference between POP and OOP. See, difference between POP, procedural oriented programming, and OOP, object oriented programming. So the first difference, see here, the first difference is large program. That is large program divided into function. In procedural oriented programming, large programs are divided into functions, means small modules. Here large programs are divided into objects. What it does is, here see, totally different. Function means here once we write the function, we can use it only once. Throughout the program we can use it only once to execute. Whereas when we write using objects, different objects, it can execute the same function so many times. That is the difference here. Here what they are trying to tell, if you write the function, it executes only once, and larger program divided into function. Whereas here, same functions can be executed multiple times by using single object, different objects. Single function, different object, many times can be executed. Okay, man? And again here, that's why they have written large programs into objects. And next point is data. Here data is not hidden. Data is not hidden means here security will not be there. There will be a security in object oriented programming called private, protected and public. 3 different securities will be there. But in procedural oriented programming means the last year programming language, what you have learned is, in that data security was not there. So that's why you cannot hide any information. Anybody can access your information, whatever you have written in a program. Whereas when it comes to object oriented programming, data is hidden and cannot be accessed. Data is hidden and cannot be accessed without permission. That is the case. So if here private will be there, protected will be there, public will be there. Private means only you, the one person who wrote, he can only access those information. Protected means the persons you want them to see, those members only can access. Means, for example, you are the owner, you have some employees and you want to show some employees some details, they can also access. When it comes to public means anybody can access, whether it is from outside, whether it is from inside, whether it is your employee, whoever it is. Public means anybody can access. One, many, so many. One means private, many means protected, so many means public. So many means all will come public. Okay, na? And next point is, here it follows top-down design. Follows top-down design. Third point is follows top-down design. Here it follows bottom-up design. It follows bottom-up design. Top-down design means here first we write void main, then we write program. Here first we write programs or functions, then we write void main. It is the difference. Next point is data communicates here. Data communicates through function. Next point is here data communicates through functions. So already I have told you what is the meaning of function. Function means again it is the logic of a program. Next here data communicates through object. Data communicates through object. So here we have objects for communication, here we have function or data for communication. And next the last point is emphasis procedure rather than data. Emphasis means, see, emphasis means concentrates. Here concentrates more on procedure rather than data. Concentrates more on procedure means what are all the things to write, what condition we have to use, how many times we have to use, what is the data we have to use. Once we use that data, again we cannot use different data. So these are all what the procedure it is. So it always concentrates on procedure. Actually we want to work with the data and functions, but here because of procedure only we are taking too much of time. In this OOP what happens is it concentrates on data rather than procedure. First you write it, you use data whichever you want, then we can see the procedure what happens. And what happens here is, so first we have to go through the particular variables and what are all the logic parts and how many times it has to be executed. First we have to see that. Instead of procedure, where to write, how to write, whether it comes down, whether it comes up, how to execute, leave that procedure things. First we work on the data, whatever we have information. That's why what happens is it emphasizes data rather than procedure. So these are all the 5 points we use whenever we write the difference between POP and OOP. That is procedural oriented programming and object oriented programming. So that is why this is totally different. Next comes basic concepts of OOP. So what are the basic concepts of OOP we have? So basic concepts of OOP are, first point, objects. Okay. Second point, class. Okay. Third point, data abstraction. Okay. Fourth point, data encapsulation. Okay. Data encapsulation. Fifth point is inheritance. Again, sixth point is polymorphism. Again, seventh point is dynamic binding. Again, here eighth point is message passing. So here, wait 1 second, light is gone. Okay, again it came. Objects, class, data abstraction, data encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, message passing. So this is the total book you are going to study this year. You are going to study about objects. You are going to study about class. You are going to study about data abstraction. You are going to study about data encapsulation. You are going to study about inheritance. So these are all the one lessons you have on these topics. But now, just what we do is we learn a little bit theory about these points. Okay, na? So what is object? Object. Objects are, first point is basic building block to write a program. Objects are basic building blocks. Okay? Objects are basic building blocks. Objects are basic building blocks. What is the meaning of basic building block? Means whenever we are going to write a program on which concept or on which logic we are writing, that we have to study first. Okay, na? So from there we are going to start building a program. Building means starting to write a program. Okay, na? Building blocks. Blocks means again here see. Blocks means different functions we write and execute. Module I said at the beginning, modular programming. Those modules are nothing but a block. A block of code we call it in programming language. Block of code. Block of code means again what? 4-5 lines of codes we write in C++. That is blocks. Building means on what concept we are writing, that is what is building. By using what we write? Object. So that is why this is a basic building block. Next, it has data members and member functions. What do you mean by data members? Again, I have already told you data members means data A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. Member function means sum is equal to A plus B, that is 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. That is member function. So it has both. It has data also, it has logic also to write a program. Next, the third point is it represents a person, a place. Okay? It represents a person, a place, a table, a chair, or whatever fan. Everything objects. It represents person, place, thing, anything. To take these are all called objects. On those objects only we write the logic part. Okay. Next point is it has unique name. It should have object should have unique name. So unique name means what? Unique name means for every object we have given a name. For example, benches are there. We have given the name called bench. We cannot call table a bench like that. If you have mobile means again a device which is portable anywhere. So that is a small device. That is mobile, we have given a name. Laptop again, that is different. So each and every object we have given some different name. This is a board. We cannot call chair a board. Like that, it should have a unique name. Object should always have a unique name and it should belong to particular class. And it should belong to class, particular class. So what is the meaning of particular class? For example, class means take fruit. Fruit is a class. In that, what are all the objects we have? We have orange, we have apple, we have mango. See, different names. Orange comes under fruit, mango comes under fruit, apple comes under fruit, but we have given these three different objects three different names. So that is what? Here. Fruit is a class. Fruit is a class. Whereas objects are orange, pineapple, apple, again mango. So these are all fruits. Next, see for example, class, take a student. Student is a class. Means each and every student have objects. What are the objects again? Name, their roll number, okay? Name, their roll number, their class, again their division, again. So these are all what objects you have, right? For example, the employee as a class. Employee has a designation. Employee has a salary. Okay, employee has again his name. So these are all the objects under particular class. In this, each object has its own class. Okay. Next, last point is objects interact by sending message to member function. Member function. Here object interact by sending message to member function means objects, whatever the objects we are creating, by using those objects we are going to call member function, and member functions are going to get executed. So this is how they interact. Okay na? Next, classes. Next, this is all about objects. First point is over. Now let's go with the classes. See, these are all, first thing is just a theory, just a small theory about these topics. But don't worry, you have the whole lesson on these topics so that you can understand clearly without any doubts later. This, on the basis of objects and class only, we have one big lesson. Again, data abstraction also have the big lesson. Data abstraction or data encapsulation. Again, function overloading. So these are all what? A lesson. We have a lessons on this. Okay, na? So just right now, what you learn is little bit of theory about that. Okay, what does object do? Those are all the points which I mentioned. That is what object is. Next, what does class? Again, I will write that point. Okay, na? What is class? Class. Okay. Class is collection of objects. Class is collection of objects that have identical properties. For example, take this is a class where I am standing right now. It is a class. Here, what are all the identical properties I have? We have benches, we have chair, okay, we have students. Students are all identical, means same. All students have the same property. If you are sitting in particular class, means all you are in same class. Same class is, that is, for example, second PU D section. All are in second PU D section only. That is what? Identical properties. This is what? Class. Benches, again all are same. We have not given benches, some small benches to one person, bigger benches to another person, not like that. Identical properties. Okay? Identical properties you can call, or common behavior also you can call. Common behavior. Common behavior means, just I have told you now, fruit. Fruit is a class, whereas common behavior of fruits are orange, pineapple, apple, mango. These are all common behavior. What it does? It does the work of fruit only. Commonly. This is the first point for a class. Next, it can have number of objects. It can have number of objects. So, one class can have many objects. For example, if we have here in this class we have benches, we have a table, we have chair, we have windows, we have fans. So these are all as many as objects we want we can have. We have board, we have chalk. So as many as objects we want we can have. Even we can have AC also. Again, that is what we can add more objects also. Many as objects we want we can have in one particular class. Okay, na? Next, class holds both of the object properties. Class holds both of the object properties means what? Object already I have told you it has data members and member functions which can be accessed by objects. So, data members and member functions works under the class. So, if we have the fan, if we have benches, those are all comes under class only. That is what they are telling you. If objects, collection of objects is the meaning of the class means class have all the things which object has. Collection of object comes under the class. So class will be having all the things whichever object has. For example, fan have blades. Means in class is having fan is having blades. It means blades come under class only. Okay, na? That is the example. One more example what we can have is, we can have solar system also. See here, solar system, it is a particular class. Solar system is a class. Solar system is a class means sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. These are all objects. Sun is an object, Moon is an object, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, those are all again object. Comes under the class solar system. Again, you can add any planet you want under our solar system. You can remove any planet you want under our solar system. Those are possible. For example, Pluto is removed from our solar system. It is under, again it is not a planet. So this is how objects work. Under the class. Okay? Now this is class. Class is over. Data abstraction. So what is the meaning of data abstraction? Data abstraction means representing essential features without including background details. Representing essential features without including background details. Representing essential features without including background detail means, take for example your mobile. It comes under data abstractions. Mobile, inside we have motherboard, we have shell, we have so display and all. Everything we have inside. We don't know total things. Means mobile's background detail we don't know. Mobile background detail we don't know how it is working, what all the things they have installed fixed, but anyhow you are using the essential feature. For example, essential feature means your mobile which you are using to the forward, means you are using just for seeing. Without including background details, means mobile how they manufactured, that we don't know. What all the things come under that we know, but how they manufactured, that background details we don't know. How they fit these screws, right? How, from where they are bringing the motherboard for the mobile, from where they are bringing the processor, and how they are fitting it. Those background details we don't know, but anyhow we are using the essential features. That is mobile. Or take for example fan. Fan, we switch on, the blades will be start rotating, we get the air. That much we know. Inside fan we don't know. That is, we don't know means persons they don't know. Background details. All the person means again some persons. So that is what? Data abstraction. Data abstraction means using the essential feature without knowing its background detail. Again watch. We use watch to see the time. Again we don't know what is the inside there. That is background details we don't know. Take a software. Software we use just front end. We don't know what they have written the code, how the username password works, how it goes there, to check whether this person is getting logged in or not. So many background details we don't know, but we are using it. Software also we are using like that only. Whenever you start mobile, you use your phone pay. Sometimes you use the PUBG, whatever you are using. The thing is, PUBG you are playing, the essential features you are using, but how you don't know how they prepared PUBG. Right? That is what data abstraction. Next comes to data encapsulation. Data encapsulation means wrapping up of data and function into single unit. Wrapping up of data and function into single unit means, many of you have seen maybe capsule like this will be there. Capsules you have seen too. The doctors give the capsule. In that capsule, the main content will be hidden inside the capsule. That is the medicine or the powder we call it. Okay, na? That powder will be wrapped by using this capsule cap. That is nothing but encapsulation. Here the data and functions will be trapped by using private, public, protected or secured we call it. Secured. So that is what here happens. Data encapsulation means data and function we are wrapping it into a single unit so that it will be secured. Here if we close the capsule means the medicine inside or the powder inside will be secured. The same way here, data encapsulation means the data and function will be secured by using private, public and protected. Okay, na? This is what? Data encapsulation. Next comes inheritance. Okay? So till now we have finished here objects, classes, data abstraction, data encapsulation. Next comes inheritance. Inheritance, it is a process where one object inherits the properties of another object. That is what here. Inheritance, what it does is, in this programming language, the properties or data or functions which one object have, it gives its data and function to another object. Gives means when if we want, we can acquire it. When we are writing in single program, not like one program we have written, after 10 days if we write another their property, from there we can take this property, not possible. When we are writing the whole program at once, think that one object has some of the properties and it want to be again used somewhere downside. So those properties can be accessed or acquired by another object that is down. Best example, see here, base. Here base class will be there. Base. From base, derived class. Derived means what? A class which acquires the properties of base class. So here that is only example I am giving. Father is there. Father is there. Son. Son is the one who acquires the property of father. So if father have an office, if father have a building, if father have a car, all those car buildings are going to come their property to son. So he is going to acquire it. The same thing here also happens. If any object have any information that can be shared within a same program to another object, that is what nothing but inheritance. Again, on inheritance only one big lesson is there. In that single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, hybrid inheritance. So these are multi-level inheritance, multiple inheritance. So these inheritance will be there. That time we can learn in deep. Next comes polymorphism. So polymorphism means a function or logical function which operates on multiple forms. Poly means more, many. Poly means many. Morphism means form, many forms. That is also included in object-oriented programming. Many form means how? For example, very simple example. Whenever you come to the college, you become the student. Whenever you go to your house, you become the child for your parents. So you are the same person, but you have different forms. Getting? Here also same thing. A function, it is same only, but working on different location or different time. Other time. Same function, different time. Okay, na? For example, area of circle, area of triangle. In both this, area is compulsory. Area of circle, area of triangle. In both this, area is compulsory, whereas circle is different. For this, triangle is different, but area should be there. The same way, for example, your name is Abhinav. In school also come means Abhinav only. In home also he is Abhinav only. But working at different means coming to school is different, staying at home is different, being in home is different. But working Abhinav only. There the person is Abhinav only. The same way here also. The same name can take different forms at different time in single program. That is called as polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means form, many form. Next comes dynamic binding. So dynamic binding means here we have one thing called class, whereas we have another thing called object. Dynamic binding means already I have told the theory. You can go backward and you can see the class and object, different theory. But we have to write these two in one single program. That is nothing but dynamic binding. Dynamic binding means we are bringing these two together. Bind together. Next comes message passing. Message passing means object is going to pass message to class telling that execute the function. Execute a particular function. Objects, what it will do is it will call functions. Functions are written in the class. So calling means passing a message. Passing a message means telling them to execute it. That is nothing but message passing. Dynamic binding, message passing. Again. Next comes, see these are all the topics. Just you learn the theory, later you can learn the lesson on these topics. Now, next is advantages of oops. See, whenever we are learning something compulsory, we have advantage or disadvantage. Even when we are using the mobile, it has its own advantage, it has its own disadvantage. Advantage means, now see, you can learn online also. But, and again, disadvantage means you can take your mobile and tell your parents I am going to learn online class, and you can use it for different purpose. That, for example, you may watch a movie, or you may use it for chatting on WhatsApp, or you may use it for messaging. So again, advantage is there, but it also has the disadvantage. Anything you take. Again, this is also has some advantage and disadvantage. So what are the advantage? Advantage of OP. Advantages of OP. Modularized base. First point is modularized base. Modularized base means on objects and classes. Modularized means already I have told you bigger complex problems dividing into smaller and then solving those problems is called as modular. It comes under the OP. Again, it is an advantage for us. It reduces code duplication. It reduces code duplication means again what? One function can be executed n number of times. One single function can be executed n number of times. There automatically you write only once, execute 1000 times. So code will be what? Again we should not write, again duplication will be not be there. Okay, now? It also reduces software development time. See, if complexity is there means it takes more time, I accept. But if we are using one code 1000 times means automatically the number of lines for compilation will be less, number of lines for writing code will be less. Automatically what happens here? Software development time will be faster. Okay, na? Next, it also provides data security. It also provides data security means again what? Data security, I have already told you there are three things: private, protected, public. Before in first PUC it was not there, whereas in second PUC it is there. Private, public, protected. So these three things they use to secure information so that all cannot be accessed. Only few things can access, but not everything. Complexity minimized. whatever the properties already we have, that only if we acquire means, again no need to start from the scratch. Father has properties. It comes to son. So son does not need to again start building the properties from the scratch. Okay? That is what here. Minimizing means once you have some property, that only we can use it once again. By using which concept, that is inheritance. So it is again an advantage. These are all the advantages. Based on that, again we have some disadvantage. 2-3 point disadvantage will also be there. 100% any of the things you take, advantage is there means disadvantage will also be there. Okay, na? So what are the disadvantages? First thing is converting disadvantage. Disadvantage. Okay. Converting real world object, real world to object or programming world is difficult. So here real world things, what we want in real world, that we have to bring it in software. That is little bit difficult only. Whatever the real world problems we have, those problems we have to solve it in a computer by using software or by preparing a software. That is difficult task. So here is one advantage, one disadvantage. Again, larger program. If larger program, execution time will be more, or means slow execution. See here, if number of lines are larger or more, automatically computer has to analyze each and every line. Automatically what happens? The execution will be take more time or it will be slow compared to the things which we have written less line or used multiple times the same function. Here more number of lines, slow execution. That is the part of job, computer. So debugging and testing not standardized. So debugging and testing not standardized means when this software was developed at that time, the problem was there. Debugging means removing a error. Removing error or testing it 1000 times. That time it is not that much not a standard procedure. But nowadays it is very easy. Debugging and testing both are easy. Testing means checking for errors. Debugging means removing the errors. Nowadays both are easy. Whereas when it was developed, that object-oriented programming software, when it was developed, that time they faced this problem. So that's why not standardized they are. So disadvantage. The final topic is application of OOP, application of object-oriented programming. Application of object-oriented programming means computer graphics application. See, when you work, whenever you work on your operating system, there will be some graphics. Those graphics are developed by using object-oriented programming only. Next, it has CAD CAM software. CAM software. CAD means computer aided design. So by using computer we can design. And next, by using computer only we can manufacture. You can see robots. Robots they manufacture by using computer algorithms only. That is what CAD means, computer aided design. CAM means computer aided manufacturing. Manufacturing means bringing or building a new thing. Manufacture. Cars they manufacture. Watches they manufacture. Design means first before manufacture they design it, then they will manufacture it. Nowadays very nice designing softwares are there. 3D design. 3D design means from each and every angle we can make. Okay. Next is user interface. User interface design such as operating system. Operating system means Windows. Maximum persons who are using computer they have Windows software. That software is developed by nothing but using the object-oriented programming only. Again, object-oriented programming only, not only C++. We have C#, we have Java, we have Smalltalk, we have Python. So these are all what object-oriented programming. By using those object-oriented programming only, they have designed this Windows or operating system. Interface means communicating. Humans communicate by using Windows operating system with computer. This line meaning. Okay, na? Next is real-time system. Again by using objects in real-time system. Real-time system means, for example, aeroplanes. Aeroplanes they build the radar. They put the radar. Radar is connected with again computer. Computer has its software. Object means, for example, plane. Plane is an object. It is flying means the radar will catch and tell real-time position where the plane is. Or take your GPS system. That is again real time. By using object-oriented programming only, it is all developed. Okay, na? Next, last is simulation. Simulation means, see, working with the computer from outside. For example, you go to any mall. What the mall persons, what they are in Hubli you can go, or in Bangalore you can go to mall. Outside bike will be there. The person who is riding outside bike, we can see that inside the computer. Computer means here he is doing like this, the bike will be turning inside the computer. Aeroplane they are doing like this with the joystick and all, and the aeroplane is turning. So that is called a simulation. From the gun outside we are doing the shooting and all. Inside computer the birds are dying. That is nothing but simulation. So again that is also done by using object-oriented programming. Application means software. Softwares which they are preparing by using object-oriented programming. These are all the softwares. These are all softwares. Simulation, real-time system, user interface, CAD, CAM, computer graphics, application. Thank you, students. Whatever I have told, if you have any doubt, please contact and ask me. And please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you for your time.